All right, y'all. Welcome into the LA Sports Brotherhood. It's me, Brian, here with my brother Matthew, and we're in the playoffs. It is time. The Lakers won their game against the Pelicans in the play-in to get into the offs and officially match up with the Nuggets, despite how many fans wanted them to tank. But no, we're here. If you believed in this team as much as some people want to claim you did, you knew this matchup was coming, no matter what, whether it's the first round or in the conference finals. We would have to go through the Nuggets to get anywhere we want, and that's the reality now. So we're gonna take a nice, quick little overview of the series and get into the offensive and defensive points more specifically in later videos. But right now, uh, we're gonna dig into the real important aspects of this series, what we're looking for. So sorry for taking up the whole intro, Matt. How you doing first? I don't want to. We can start there.
Yeah, I'm feeling good. Feeling good about the matchup. Well, the fact that it's happening in the first round compared to later, I truly do believe that's better for us. I think that, you know, first of all, you're healthy. You don't know what's going to happen if you get them two series on the line. I really, really think that this is the best scenario. Because, like you said, I don't like we're gonna have if you're gonna have to go through them to make it to the finals. So you might as well get out the way early in the first round. And yeah, I feel like the Nuggets got worse from last year and we got better this year. And we're gonna obviously dive into that. And yeah, I don't feel as confident as I did against the Grizzlies. I won't lie to you, but I truly, truly, all bias aside, think that we can win this matchup. I think that we're better suited for this team than any other team in the West, to be honest with you.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, obviously, like I said, we're gonna get into it. Um, if the Nuggets don't lose this round, if the Lakers do not beat the Nuggets, they're making the finals again. To me, that's like, I mean, and it's ironic to say how the Lakers and the Nuggets are on a similar tier, given the last 8 matchups have been the exact same game 8 times over and over, each of them resulting in losses for the Lakers. But there's nobody, no other team, frankly, in the NBA that could even pretend to match up with them from a personnel standpoint. With that being said, we're talking about these ideas. Let's get into a couple of them. We each have 3 points, three real major points that we think are crucial in determining the outcome of the series. Matt, do you want to start with your first one?
Yeah, so my first one's gonna be the greatest of all time, in my opinion, LeBron. I just said I think we're a lot better this year than last year and better equipped to play them. One of the biggest reasons is LeBron, the fact that he's actually healthy. Last year, he was you think that was the worst shooting year he's ever had in his career?
I think it
If
literally
not, it's
was.
one. It probably literally was, and he was on one foot. So I mean, and on top of that, Aaron Gordon's a terrible matchup for him. So for me, it's like, and he's still average. I think he scored 20. Yeah, he did score 20 in every single game, but he started off 0 of 10 the first two games from three.
Yeah.
So how healthy is he going to look? How is he going to be against Aaron Gordon? Because like I said, that's honestly probably the worst matchup for him. And how, most importantly, how is he shooting? Because he shot great this year, and if he's shooting the ball well, that will be so huge for us. So yeah, it all starts with the King because I believe that if LeBron and AD are the most physical, the most dominant, the best players on the court, you can't beat them 4 times out of 7 times.
Yeah.
So is he going to be able to overpower Gordon? Is he going to be quicker than him? Is he going to be able to, be playoff LeBron like he's been in the past?
Yeah. It's just to drive your point home. Last year's playoffs, 16 games played, shot 26% from three on almost 7 attempts. That is horrible, first of all, but 7 attempts, the attempts were so high because his foot was cooked. And I will, I'll continue talking about this and roll it into my larger point. My first point, which is fourth quarter scoring and how poorly they do executing plays, poorly they've been doing executing plays against the Nuggets. And it is one because of Aaron Gordon, like you mentioned. It is the first time I've ever said bad matchup for LeBron and like wholeheartedly meant it. And I know obviously that he's every finals. He's up against incredible defenders, and he's played 21 years. He's the greatest of all time. A lot of great defenders playing him, but for right now, this current LeBron James, Aaron Gordon is bigger than him, and he's able to stick with him laterally, which is, I think, may genuinely be the first time that art player archetype has ever come, like, first time LeBron's ever come across someone like that. Um, so that's why the shot is so important. If he can't, or not if he can't, he has been. He shot 40% this year from three on, again, high volume. The shots back, the foot is at least better than it was last year. As much as we're gonna get into like the more granular stuff, that may literally just be the biggest difference. If LeBron is healthy enough to run pick and rolls, to go downhill instead of settling, which ties into my fourth quarter offense point. This is anecdotal because I don't have the actual stats. There are so many plays where LeBron was trying to switch hunt. He was trying to bring in Jamal Murray was on D'Lo. I don't even remember who it would be on. D'Lo or Vando or Rui, whoever was there in the fourth quarter. Probably not D'Lo actually.
It
They're
wasn't D'Lo. Yeah, I was
yeah,
gonna say it's probably
yeah,
Schroeder because
for sure
D'Lo's
not
not.
D'Lo. But yeah, whatever guard or non-shooter that Jamal Murray was guarding, they would have him switch hunt. Just come ISO one side of the wing and set a screen for LeBron and keep fighting. Hopefully that you can get the little slip pass for the three. But Aaron Gordon just wasn't up on him enough for those switches to even matter. So LeBron spent 20 seconds switch hunting, didn't get a switch, and if he did, he couldn't attack because his foot was too cooked that he would like. Obviously, he can out physical Murray, but if Murray like just tries, which he does, he's not a bad defender. He's actually pretty solid. If you just slide and try to stay as quick as possible and deter him for 3 seconds, because that's all you need to do, because every single play was late in the shot clock. There was just nothing, and people, including myself, really wanted and kind of demanded and were confused by the lack of downhill pick and rolls with involving Nikola and Jokic in every action and bring AD up. And it's just LeBron's foot was cooked. He could not get downhill. And frankly, I think that kind of, I won't say psyched him out because I don't think anything's ever psyched LeBron out. But in this healthy season when he's shooting, it's still the same problem. In this year, this season, all four matchups, it was the same problem. So it's gotten to the point where like if you're on Twitter Spaces online after games and hearing fans talk about like why stuff happens, everyone just says the word execution. It's like, oh, they're not executing, and I mean it's true, they're not, but I don't think anybody really knows what they're trying to execute because it is kind of nothing. There's no movement. All the stuff we dislike about the team's offense, especially from last year, and all the stuff that they've done actual work to change, going from four out, one in to five out. Um, way more movement. The pick and roll series that they're on with Rui, where he runs block to baseline, but he's moving so consistently that he's frequently getting backdoor cuts. All this stuff goes out the window when they play the Nuggets. So again, I'm doing an offensive breakdown, and I'll be more concise with it. But that's the biggest thing for me. Every single game was tied or within 3 points with 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and they lost every single one of them in the exact same fashion. So yeah, fourth quarter offense is the most important thing for the Lakers to fix going into this series.
Yeah, 100%. I mean that. I'm definitely gonna dive into it when we get to the offensive video because there's something that really pisses me off what you're describing with LeBron switch hunting in the fourth quarter. It happened every single game last year, and it wasn't even just Nuggets. Some of the games we lost, it was very frustrating. But I'll get into it. Like I said, in the offensive video, I think this is a much better offensive team than last year. As much as I like last year's team, but for my second point, a big part of the offense is the backcourt. So
Yeah,
my second point is D'Angelo Russell and Austin Reeves. They got to be efficient. They got to shoot the ball well, and I mean they have to shoot the ball well. I'll just I'll just come out and say it. The Nuggets they're a very good team. So as just a general point, everyone's gonna have to be at the top of their game. Like LeBron and AD didn't have a very efficient game in the play-in. If they play like that, we're gonna lose. We're gonna get swept. For as a matter of fact, D'Lo's included in that. Reeves included in that. Ruiz included in that. They gotta they gotta be able to shoot the ball well. In the play-in game, D D'Lo just he straight up saved us. AD and LeBron weren't scoring in that first quarter, and D'Lo was in double digits because he was shooting well. He has to shoot the ball well, like he has to with all caps, because that opens up so much. I mean, even like I think you said in the past, even when he's not shooting the ball well, the defense has to, find what you can never leave D'Lo. But if he's shooting the ball well, that just opens up our offense so much. And he didn't play in the fourth quarter last year, like we just joked about. If he was in there instead of Schroeder, that fourth quarter offense we just talked about expands so much.
Yeah.
So D'Lo has got to be he's got to be efficient. And I know it's not a great matchup for him because the other teams the Nuggets are just so physical. And I think D'Lo struggles with bigger, faster, longer wings on him. Because he's not an explosive type player. He's very skilled, and sometimes that doesn't work in the playoffs against more physical teams. But he's got to be able to shoot the ball. And Reeves too. They're not the key to the offense, but they're so important when it comes to that pick and roll, which they better freaking run with LeBron, AD, with Rui diving. If you have to leave Reeves or D'Lo to help AD or help with Rui, that opens up so much for this offense. And that's one of the ways we can really, really hit the Nuggets. But if we're
100%.
not shooting the ball well, then, I mean, not to be negative, but we're screwed if they're not shooting the ball well.
Yeah. No,
And
I want. Sorry,
it's
go ahead.
like it's like D'Lo. It was like last year was like he wasn't even playable in the fourth quarter. He got benched in the fourth game. He didn't even start.
Yeah.
So it's like he's gotta be able to close games in this series because we need him for the fourth quarter offense. And I
Yeah.
said Reeves and D'Lo and kind of just singled out D'Lo, but yeah, same thing with Reeves. But Reeves has been solid in the playoffs, so I believe in him. But yeah, those two got to shoot the ball well.
Yeah. No, 100%. And as you were talking, I realized that somehow in my diatribe, I actually forgot one of the biggest things that stopped the fourth quarter offense. LeBron, as we very all went over thoroughly, couldn't shoot, couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. But in the fourth quarters, since Reeves has emerged as a guy, or D'Lo, since D'Lo has been here, LeBron very routinely has given the ball up to Reeves and D'Lo and let them operate, which has helped the fourth quarter offense a lot because it's not the same look over and over. But against the Nuggets, they still had Aaron Gordon on LeBron, and when they're running Reeves AD pick and rolls, they would just help off LeBron. You cannot do that this year. Last year, maybe the first time LeBron has ever been helped off of in his career, they straight up would just leave LeBron, and Aaron Gordon would go help and be 6'10" and massive and fast and strong and disrupt a bunch of plays. So we just couldn't get anything going. And it with D'Lo out, there was Dennis Schroeder instead of him who couldn't shoot, and it's just everything crumbled. So it's difficult to put this much responsibility on D'Lo and Reeves to some extent, even though Reeves performed in this series last year. But the reality is, and frankly, this has been the case for a long time, of basically this entirety of this season. The team goes as D'Lo and Reeves go. If D'Lo
Yeah.
is shooting, and I went back to look at the box scores again. I've been watching like the highlights of the games and from last playoffs and like trying to prepare and understand what the differences are going to be or need to be. But I was looking at the box score and D'Lo wasn't just bad. He was like unplayable is too kind to how bad he was. That's what it was. And that's not a shock to anybody. Every Laker fan knows that's the truth. But it's just so difficult for me to believe that that's going to be the case. For LeBron shooting and his foot, D'Lo, like this is This year was D'Lo's best year of his career. He wasn't an all-star like he was with the Nets, but that team sucked. Who cares about that team? They were an 8th seed and they won one game and it was fun, but that's not. D'Lo basically matched those numbers as the third option on a team that at least is telling us that they have championship aspirations. He has been incredible this entire year, and that's including like the little month down streak when everyone on the team was bad. It's just so difficult for me to see that poor play happening again. And if it doesn't, if D'Lo is someone that can hit 4 threes in a quarter, like he always has been, if he has just one of those quarters, hopefully in the first game to set a tone, but like that, he can change a series, and we
Yeah,
need that.
yes.
No,
Sorry to cut you
please.
off. It's like adding. It's like it's something I get really intense about. It's like adding another freaking player because, like you said, his highest scoring game was 10 points. That was the only time he reached double figures.
Yeah,
You're adding a not quite all star, but an incredible point guard and an incredible shooter. That's just something we didn't have last year,
yeah,
and we lost every freaking game like basically in the or not basically in the fourth quarter, basically under 10 points. I think whoever who cares? It was close as the point I'm trying to make,
yeah,
and you're so much better in all of these areas. Bruce Brown is not a Nugget, and him and D'Lo had that little beef. D'Lo needs to catch fire because my God, that would be so big for us, and he
yeah,
needs to in game one. He needs like the way Austin Reeves and Rui played against the Grizzlies last year. He needs that level of game because, like, again, we'll go into an offensive video. Spoiler: we're gonna talk about the pick and roll. He opens up so much for us, him and Reeves, to where if each guy is performing well, if AD's doing well, if LeBron's doing well, if D'Lo and Reeves are shooting, that's an unstoppable play. And another area I think he can excel is with the pick and roll. Jokic, they play it when I was watching the last year's highlights, sometimes Jokic would show, but sometimes he'd drop. And if it's who would defend, if Murray's defending him, they wouldn't switch, and Murray would stay with D'Lo. If Jokic is dropping, the mid range is there all day, and D'Lo hits those for a living. He's got to get going. It's a long story short. He's got to get going.
yeah, yeah. Honestly, that's so important that I'm just gonna wrap that into like my last couple points. Just every offensive point is based on D'Angelo Russell hooping. It's based on LeBron shooting. And if those two things genuinely, even if it were the exact same, every other outcome was the same from other players, including AD's down scoring games. But D'Lo was D'Angelo Russell, not even a heightened version. He was just D'Angelo Russell. LeBron James was just shooting career average from three. That series is so much different. So yeah, that's how I'll wrap it up. Wrap that part up for me at least. I think this is my favorite hot take, kind of like inflammatory. This doesn't really matter, but I care about it. My second point, and honestly, kind of my most important point, is winning game one. Something tells me that if they win game one, they will win the series. But if they lose, especially if they lose in just the exact same goddamn way that they have been for the last 8 games, they're getting swept again. I just something. So much of this team has been about mentality, and this like all the complaints from every fan has been, oh, the players don't know when they're gonna play. The lineup's always changing, and then they settled into this lineup, and magically they started winning. It didn't have anything to do with D'Angelo Russell and Austin Reeves becoming good again, and playing, and Rui getting healthy and actually playing, which is a lineup thing. I'll give that for sure. But so now we have this consistent lineup that's been good for months. We have a team that has been good for literally the last half of the season. The last 41 games they've played, they've been winning at a 54 win pace for an entire season. They've just been good for a long time. And even with that, it's just the idea of Denver. It feels like it's so much. That like there's so much pressure to perform for D'Lo and LeBron to like this is what if he loses this round, it'll be the first time he's ever lost in a round one. That's not true. He lost to the Suns last after AD was hurt. Why did I see someone say that? I believed it, and I was like, no, the Lakers lost to the Suns last in the first playing game. Anyway, the point is, there's so much writing on this series, and I think they kind of know that the Nuggets are the only team in the West that can really hang with them, especially at the top ranked. Like it's just that understanding. They know how big this series is for really overly confident Laker fans, which I kind of am a little bit. I would be, if I wanted to make someone upset, I would say that this is essentially the Western Conference Finals. Whichever team wins this, I think will go to the finals, and I do believe that a little bit. But that's only because the confidence built from beating Denver for the Lakers would be so big that it would really kind of change the dynamic of the series. So yeah, I need them to win game one. More than anything in this world, I need them to sell out, even if it's LeBron and AD and hopefully Rui or D'Lo are playing well and the starting lineup gets 44 minutes. That's fine. Take game two off. I need game one. That is that wasn't even one of my points when I was thinking about it. I was like, this is too real for me. Win game one. Just do it. That's my point. Sorry, Matthew. You can take that wherever you want it.
No, I don't really give a damn. I swear, I don't want to get too emotional. We can freaking do it. Like I'm telling you. And my last point, like all three of my points are something we didn't have last year. LeBron was hurt and wasn't shooting well. He's better this year. D'Lo is a completely brand new player this year. And I will point out with LeBron, with D'Lo, it is a little bit mental. I do believe. I truly think that some of it is just he's gonna see that the stakes of the series, and he's not weak minded by any. I'm not saying that, but you know what I mean. Like there's got to be something psychological when you see that team. But anyways, like you said, this might be the best year of his career. That's a whole new player, and no one's really talking about it. And my third point, we're so much better equipped to defend Jamal Murray. That's my third point. Jamal Murray might be. I think I hate watching him play us more than any other player in the entire NBA. It is. I cannot describe how much I hate it, but he has just cooked us for so many years now. And last year, like I said, I watched a ton of tape from the last series the past few days. We didn't have anyone at all that could stop him. Like Schroeder, I love Schroeder. Truly love Schroeder. He was just too small, and Jamal Murray was just as quick as him. Gabe Vincent is going to be. This is the first time we've said his name. You're going to hear about him in the defense preview. Believe that. He's going to be so big for this team, primarily for defending Jamal Murray. Because, like I said, Schroeder's undersized and Murray was kind of just as quick as him. And in those Jokic Murray, they killed us in those Jokic Murray pick and rolls. I mean, absolutely shredded us. That's the main reason of the fourth quarter. LeBron switch hunting, and we have stupid possessions that ends in a Schroeder turnover or a missed three, unless Austin Reeves saved us. That's pretty much what happened for our fourth quarters. But for them, they were just a well-oiled machine with that Murray Jokic pick and roll, and it's really tough to beat. It's really tough to stop. That they are incredible players, but to actually have guys that are equipped to defend Murray, because Vincent, he just never stopped. His motor is unbelievable. And I can see him getting around the screens because obviously you're not going under a Murray screen. Vincent can get skinny, he can get around the screens, excuse me, and stay with Murray because Schroeder would get around the screen, but Murray's more physical and he already has a step on him. It's just a pull up floater or a lob or not lob to Jokic, but a dunk to Jokic, and they did that whenever the hell they wanted to. Vincent he won't shut him down, but he'll be able to navigate screens. He will be absolutely relentless guarding Murray. And if he can just slow him down, if he can get him out of easy shots out of his rhythm, anything will do because you gotta slow him down. Jokic is one of the best players I've ever watched, and he's gonna get his. Murray to some extent is gonna get his, but if Vincent can defend him better than the way we have last year and even in 2020, That will be absolutely huge for us.
Yeah, 100%. I completely agree. It's important to say Vincent did play Murray in the finals, and the
That's
like
true.
individual matchup numbers aren't really reliable either way. To be honest, I know people love posting them, even like in positive ways for Vando, who I love and we definitely will miss. But they're not super reliable. Anyway, not very favorable for Vincent Jamal Murray matchups. But the important thing to note is last year we only had Dennis Schroeder. Vando was there. Vando didn't do a great job and he barely played, if I'm being honest. So he was kind of a non factor. But now we have Gabe and Spencer.
Yep.
That could be. It's so weird talking about Gabe Vincent and Spencer Dinwiddie turning the tides in a series, but that's the reality. The longer we can have one-on-one defenders, just enough, because they're not going to stop Jabal. And also, I do want to point these stats out. Gets the Lakers 32 and a half points, average 50, 40, 90 for Jamal Murray. Against the Heat, 21 points, 45, 38, 92 percentages. So it's like, as much as fans don't like to admit it, and players don't care about admitting it. The Nuggets hate the Lakers. They beating the Lakers was arguably as important to them as winning the finals, and people might think that's crazy that I'm saying that. But who were they talking about the entire offseason? Who did the fucking owner? He wasn't saying Heat's daddy. He was saying Lakers daddy. You know why? Because they hate the Lakers more than they like being good. And that's just the reality for a lot of teams that the Lakers were terrorizing in the end. So that's why Jamal Murray is a playoff merchant, another hilarious thing. He's incredible in the playoffs, he always will be. But they see the purple and gold and they go crazy. Michael Porter Jr. had a game where he went 10 for 10 from the field. He did not miss a shot. He had like 7 threes. That's the type of stuff, and I'm rolling this into my final point. That's the type of stuff that we just can't have. We can't have the others, to use a Shaq quote, Shaqism. We can't have them performing. We can't have them scoring everyone with 15 points. We can't have a KCP game where he's dribbling into mid-range jumpers like he's Chris Paul and scoring 25 points in the first game and just ruining everything. Jamal Murray's going to average 30. Honestly, I've resigned myself to that fate. Jokic is going to be Jokic. AD is the only person on earth that would be able to stop him, and he can't stop him. Jokic is going to do what he's going to do. We can't have Christian Brown and Peyton Watson and KCP and Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon scored 20 points in Game 4 last year. You cannot have that. We will never win if they're only going to run 6 or 7 players in the rotation anyway. If they had a couple games where all 6 of them were in double figures. All 7 of them were in double figures. Or one wasn't, but 6 of them had like 13 or more points. And Jamal Murray also had 35 that game. So that's the biggest thing. I think we are significantly more equipped, including Austin Reeves and D'Lo, who are constants like between the two teams. But Reeves is way more respectful as a defender, and D'Lo has been way more disruptive as like an off-ball kind of semi-chaser guy that you're gonna need. Like he's gonna be on KCP. I need him to get a deflection, rub him off a little bit, like when he's coming around for screens. Be a little bit more physical with him, especially with KCP because we know he's one of the least physical people out there. I love him, but I mean it's kind of funny. But I mean, yeah, KCP shot 44% from three last year. Everyone shot 40% from three. Sorry, go ahead. That's my point.
I think those kind of go together. And by the way, just to clarify, I'm not talking about Vincent like he's Scottie Pippen.
Yeah.
But what we're talking about and we're getting excited about is like you actually have guys that will guard him, not, you know what I mean? Just make it a little bit difficult for him. And I think that if you have guys that can just guard one-on-one, Murray's going to score, obviously, but you don't have to freaking double every single play to leave KCP, to leave Bruce Brown last year, all these guys wide open threes.
Yeah.
If you have better one-on-one guys like Vincent and someone who can, be relentless, run around screens, run through screens, uh, sprint to help, do all these things. It'll help limit the other guys, the KCPs. KCP was hitting goddamn step back threes last year. Like
Yeah.
my God, I mean, we can go on and on about the stupid shots they made, but yeah, I really do think those two go together. Having on ball defenders so you don't have to double as much,
Yeah.
and we're gonna get all into that in the defensive video, of course. But yeah, I think we're just because really, what team in the world is going to have someone even remotely close to be able to defend Jokic and then have to guard playoff Murray and then worry about 6'10 Gordon who jumps out of the like this is why we're saying we're the team best equipped for this. You think the Timberwolves are going to do that or the Suns? Jokic would eat or has eaten Gobert in the past.
Yeah.
So it's like we have to kind of just to wrap up this whole point, this whole preview. We have not stop we won't stop them like that, but we have people who will make life difficult for them, but we also have a way to attack where they're vulnerable for our offense.
Yeah.
But we need all our points. We need the fourth quarter, like you said. We need Reeves and D'Lo, like I said, 3-point shooting. And LeBron has to be aggressive. LeBron has to be dominant. LeBron has to be healthy. So, and if all that stuff goes our way, we stay healthy and we just freaking come out in game one and just show them why we're the goddamn Lakers and not let that stupid crowd chant "Who's your daddy" and all this stuff. Just be the Lakers of the past.
Yeah.
We are the Lakers, and anyone who's trying to duck the Denver, you should be ashamed of yourself because we're the freaking Lakers. We're the best franchise in the world, and we have the best player of all time. We have the best defensive player in the past 20 years. I know I'm ranting, but it's hard not to take pride in this when this team has genuinely been very good since February. I really do feel good about this series.
Yeah. 100%.
But
No.
like you said, all starts in game one.
Yeah.
If we lose game one, because that my last point I'll make, game two on the road is incredibly hard
Yeah.
because if you come out and you punch them in the mouth in game one, they're gonna give their A game in game two. But if you drop game one, it's just looking tough, and we saw what happened last year.
Yeah. No, 100%. Your rant is well taken. Respect the game. Respect your opponent. Respect the team, the franchise that you're representing, and win game one. Go Lakers.